I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities. Claude, take my mind off it all. Regale me with another of your weird childhood stories.
Okay, then. How about an old story from a foreign land that my dad told me when I was a kid? Once upon a time, there was a white camel that got separated from his herd.
I'm so happy for that white camel. I really thought he was gonna die.
Was that story really worth bawling your eyes out over?
It was wonderful. Don't you know how moving that story is?
You know, I never thought much of it until today. But seeing you bawling like that, I do appreciate it a little more now.
What's that mean?
Well, you're always fake crying, aren't you? Getting all misty-eyed to make people think you're a delicate flower?
What? You're awful. I only cry when I'm sad.
Claim what you like, but I can spot real tears from fake tears any day of the week. Fess up.
If you understand me so well, maybe it's because you're no different.
How's that?
When you smile or laugh, it's not sincere. I can tell. I've only seen you genuinely smile a handful of times. Like when you're talking to the professor.
Wow, good one, Hilda. You hit me right in the gut. I guess you're right. I'm not so different from you in that way. But how did you come to realize that? Have you been watching me that closely?
I'm afraid so. My eyes seem to wander toward you of their own accord. What? Hold on. Forget I said that. I didn't say that.
Nope, no can do. Forgetting isn't something this crafty brain of mine is capable of. Besides, my eyes have a tendency to wander in your direction too. How else do you think I found out about your fake crying?
Huh? What are you getting at?
Say, Hilda, once everything's settled down, do you want to come meet my parents? I mean, don't get the wrong idea, you just seem interested in my family. Besides, you've opened up to me quite a bit, but I still haven't let you in on my own secrets. If you meet my parents, I think you'll understand, though it might come as a bit of a surprise.
Your family? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Well then, if neither of us changes our minds before the opportunity presents itself, let's agree to go visit my home together.
Although, if it's a long journey, my brother might not be too happy.
True, that might be a tough nut to crack. As tough as Fodlan's locket.
Hey, Claude. Care to pick up where we left off? I got some time to kill.
You'll have to kill time on your own, I'm afraid. My calendar's full at the moment.
Ah, don't be like that. You're not afraid I'm gonna expose your true identity, are you? I would never. Besides, my own bloodline isn't so lofty that I can get away with something like that.
I bet your father would just love to hear you say that. And the Albrecht family is from a distinguished noble house, so I'm not sure what you mean.
Not as distinguished as you would think. And my mom wasn't born a noble.
Ah, the plot thickens. So your mother was a commoner then?
In a sense, but it's complicated. Listen up, and I'll tell you a little story. You know Kupala, yeah? Those folks have been living in the mountains of Fodlan's throat for ages.
I know it well. Tales of that place were carried on the wind to where I grew up. Here's my favorite. In a land surrounded by tall mountains, untouched by civilization, lies a hidden village. The people who live there, the mystical Kupala tribe. They say that an ancient and powerful bloodline runs through their veins to this very day. Don't try to find them, people say, or you're liable to get hexed. Or so the tale goes. That part was probably added to spice up the story a bit, but even so, there's certainly a mysterious lot.
They don't leave their homeland too often, so it's only natural that strange rumors would arise.
And your mother, is she really some kind of Kupala princess or something?
Not a princess, but she was born and raised there. She left, got lost, and was rescued. By my dad. Ah, he fell head over heels for her. Made her his wife. That's when her troubles really started.
Did your father tell anyone where she was from?
Of course not. But it didn't matter. She was still a stranger of questionable lineage. The family treated her horribly. That eventually led to them splitting up and my dad remarrying.
That's not an uncommon circumstance for a noble house. Where is she now?
With nowhere else to turn, she went back to Kupala, even though my pops tried to convince her to stay.
I'm guessing you two left for much the same reason. Too hard to put up with the foul treatment, right?
That's part of it. If my mom had been Fodlan nobility, my life would have been very different. So, what do you think? Did I drum up some empathy? After all, half of your blood comes from...
I hear you, Balthus. Can't say I don't empathize, though our circumstances are pretty different.
So you admit it then! I knew I was right about you. My instincts are second to none.
Your instincts, right. Look, if it makes you happy, you just go on believing whatever you want.
I'll do just that. Say, Claude, it'd be a shame if your true identity was exposed, yeah? A real shame. I'm thinking you better... set up a meeting between me and your mom? She was my first crush, after all. I had it bad for her back in the day. I'm still haunted by the fact that I never had the chance to tell her.
That's... bothersome. And that aside, you do know that time didn't exactly stop for her, right?
Not a problem, pal. Age is beauty.
Balthus, do you have a moment?
Well, well. It's the little lady of House Ordelia. What can I do for you?
You piqued my interest when you spoke about my parents coming to your rescue.
Oh, right. Forgot I let that slip. After I fled my home, I became something of a vagrant, getting into fights, borrowing money I couldn't pay back. The works.
Oh, I know all about it. You were quite the vagabond.
Wherever I went, I was treated like trash. Securing enough food to live on got harder and harder. It became clear that I wasn't welcome in Alliance territory, so I decided to head over to the Empire. My big mistake was stopping by the Great Bridge of Myrden on the way. Just my luck, some jerk of a minor lord north of the bridge was on a hunt for the bounty on my head.
Oh, that's awful.
Would have been fine if I'd been alone, but innocent folks were around. Didn't want to endanger them. That's when I turned tail. I ran until I couldn't run another step, and found myself in Ordelia territory. I knew Count Ordelia from when I was still with my family's house, so it seemed like a decent option. I was hoping our history would be enough to secure a place of sanctuary, but no such luck.
They refused to take you in?
Yeah, I could tell there was some reason behind it. But they told me to get out as fast as I could.
Ah, I imagine it was when the Empire was meddling with my family. We lived in shackles back then.
Makes sense. Still, I'm grateful. They gave me food and distracted the Empire's cronies so I could escape. I was half dead from starvation, so that meal saved my life. No joke. Your family's the real deal. Just imagine what the Empire would have done to me. I can tell you it wouldn't have been pretty.
I have no doubts. We weren't allowed contact with anyone from the outside. It was strictly forbidden.
I see. Well, that's when I vowed to find a way to repay them. One day I'll do just that.
And when do you intend to carry out this vow of yours? In due honesty, I don't see you as someone capable of carrying out vows right now, or even keeping your things together.
Can't argue with that. It'll take me a while to repay that debt, but I will. Just you wait and see.
Aw, do you have an itch back there? I guess you can't scratch it on your own, can you?
Hi, Marianne.
Oh, Claude, it's just you.
Sorry, I know you're in the middle of an important discussion with Dorte, but could I talk to you?
About what?
It's about this thing you think you're burdened with. I've tried to guess what it is.
Please don't. This is making me a little uncomfortable.
There's no reason to feel uncomfortable. It's not like I plan on saying it aloud. But if my guess is correct, there's something I want to tell you. Will you hear me out?
Fine, I will listen.
Once upon a time, in a faraway place.
What the... Are you telling me a story?
Just listen. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, there was a young boy. This boy came from a despised lineage. In short, his mother was a daughter of the enemy. So the young boy was treated horribly by everyone around him. He hadn't done anything wrong. Everyone hated him simply for existing. Yelling, fighting back, explaining himself, nothing he did could change his situation. When he was finally old enough, he ran far away from home. He escaped.
It sounds to me like he had no choice. I would have done the same had it been me.
Thing is, after he ran away, he still found himself in the very same position. People in the outside world hated him for where he came from.
Well, now that's...
The boy thought he had no place to go. All he could do was destroy the boundary between the inside and the outside worlds.
Destroy the boundaries?
Right. If there was no outside and inside, just one side to share, then the people outside wouldn't have a reason to hate him anymore, right? It wouldn't be easy, but if he managed it, he could shrug off that burden. The point is, people are born with burdens to carry. That much is undeniable. But whether they bind us or we cast them aside, that's up to us. So I think you should try to cast yours aside, Marianne. Put that heavy burden down. It's time.
But I don't know if I can do it.
It's okay. I'm here for you. We're the same, and I can help you.
The same? Claude, we have nothing in common.
Hey, did you see that, Dorte? Your friend just smiled at me.
Thank you for sharing your story. I suppose I could try casting aside burden, as you say. We can try together.
Let's do that. And when we're free, we can change the whole world.
I did it! I did it! Okay, so next up is...
What's this letter all about? Doesn't appear to have a sender written anywhere. This handwriting is so sloppy. Wow. Dear Lysithea, I read the book you gave me. This must be from Cyril. He's learning so quickly. It was hard and it got more easy, more I tried it, and it was fun and I learned new stuff. That's the spirit. Thanks you for helping me to read and to write. You are so welcome. Some things are hard to say and easy to write. I know just what you mean. I want to read more and learn writing better. You're already doing so well with this. I can see how hard you're working. I am glad you are my friend. It makes me happy. Aww.
Hey, Lysithea! Last night I finished reading the book you lent me. I wanted to tell you right away, but it was late, so I tried to write a letter. Lysithea?
Cyril, you sweet little...
Did I do something wrong? I don't know what you're trying to say.
Some feelings can't be verbalized or put into writing. Look, it's just that
I'm sorry. I really don't know what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm happy too.
Bappy?
Let's keep studying and spending time together, okay?
Oh, I get you now. That sounds great, Lysithea.
Huh. What's that about? Marianne, I saw you on the training grounds earlier. It looked like there was an argument.
Oh, no. It was nothing.
Are you sure? Nothing happened at this morning's training?
Well...
Okay, tell me what happened.
I just couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. Everyone got so mad at me. They said something about looking into their eyes so I could read their movements, but I couldn't do it.
They may have a point.
I'm a hindrance to everyone. I can't do it.
Of course not. That goes without saying. It's hard to accomplish anything on your own. Look at me. By myself, I'm worse than useless. Can you see where I'm going with this? To succeed, you have to cooperate. You can't do that if you're not paying attention to nonverbal cues.
Huh?
Please, try looking up. Looking people in the eye. You'll see some things that you've never seen before. People worry about you and rely on you. You'll see that on your allies' faces. In a way, you'll see what they're thinking.
You may be right. It was my fault for looking down. Thank you, Ignatz. I appreciate your encouragement.
Of course. Look, we both saw the sunset and appreciated its beauty. Nature communicates without words. We can do the same. We don't need to speak to be understood. Stop staring at your feet. Look at us. That'll be a good start.
I can certainly try.
Huh.
Is something wrong? Did I say something to upset you?
Oh no, to the contrary. I just realized that I was missing something. A thing of remarkable beauty. Right under my nose.
Remarkable beauty?
What? Don't mind me.
Ah, Marianne, I've been meaning to thank you. The books that you lent me have proved most fascinating. Would you permit me to offer you tea as a token of my gratitude?
I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later tonight?
Of course. I will look forward to it.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Certainly. Thank you for coming. Oh, and please, relax. This is no formal occasion.
Oh, this tea tastes so good.
Doesn't it just? This is my absolute favorite. I'm pleased you like it. This pastry may suit your palate also. It is commonly paired with this tea in my homeland.
Ah, it's sweet. It complements the astringency of the tea.
You have exquisite taste, and there is plenty more where that came from. We simply must do this again.
You want to spend more time with me?
Naturally.
Well, that's... Actually, there's something I need to say.
Yes? What is it?
I've been keeping this from you for a while. It's about my crest. It's just terrible.
Please, that's quite enough.
Oh,
You're trembling. If uttering this secret hurts you, then I have no desire to hear it.
it's just...
Your smile is a greater gift to me than any truth. Whatever you have hitherto concealed, I am certain it is essential to you, and I do wish to know it. But not until the day arrives when you can tell me with a smile on your face. I am not the sort of man to prize my own knowledge over others' happiness, you know. Besides, the mystery is part of your charm.
You're funny, Lawrence.
There, that's what I mean. Your beauty is always captivated, but that smile truly warms my heart.
This is the first time I've smiled in so long, and I have your kindness to thank for that.
As I've said, you are perfect just as you are. But I suppose I can take a little credit. Yes, your radiant smile shall illuminate all the world. With me by your side, you will not be able to help it.
I'm looking forward to that.
Professor, I asked to be on the sidelines. Why did you put me on the battlefield? You did protect me, so I guess I can't complain. Wait a second, you're hurt. Did that happen when you were defending me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so. How could you be so reckless? Perhaps you'll say that that's what friends do. They look out for each other and save each other. But if I saw you getting attacked, I wouldn't risk my neck to save you.
But you would.
No, don't overestimate me.
I don't know if I've told you this, Professor. I have a very impressive big brother. I'm not just saying that. He's strong, smart, nice. He's basically perfect. Before Claude turned up, people talked about him becoming the next leader of the Alliance. Don't mention that to Lawrence, by the way. He never shuts up about that kind of thing. Anyway, my parents have high expectations for my brother, and he almost always meets them. No one expects anything of me. If something's even a little bit difficult, I find someone else to do it for me. That's what I've done my whole life.
Are you scared of disappointing people, Hilda?
Of course! I can't stand the idea of not meeting someone's expectations. I know how people react when that happens. From watching my brother, I mean. People force their expectations on you, and then if you fail, they look so disappointed. Whenever that happens to my poor brother, he looks just devastated. So don't expect anything of me, please. That way, I can't disappoint you.
I won't expect anything from you, but I will believe in you.
You're stubborn. Okay, fine. Keep believing in me. I do want to support you and support my friends. I just don't want to let you down.
Hey, Professor. Can we talk? I feel terrible about the last time we spoke. I was trying to apologize and just ended up losing my temper again. I'm really sorry.
It's alright.
I figured you'd say that, but I still feel like an idiot. Somehow, I just have a hard time keeping my feelings in check around you. And I think if I don't just tell you what I'm thinking, we'll never be able to have a normal conversation. So, let me clear the air. I want us to, engage.
You want to get engaged?
Yeah, wait, what? No, I mean in a duel. I know it's a sudden thing to ask, but I'm not going to feel settled until I know where I stand. Would you do that for me?
Alright, let's go.
Good. Don't hold back, okay? I want to see you at your absolute best. Phew. You got me. I'm completely outmatched.
But you held your own.
Maybe, but you were definitely stronger. Honestly, that's what I needed to see. You're a true successor to Captain Gerald's style of swordplay. I almost felt like you were him. I thought I was competing with you. But that's as pointless as competing against him would have been. So instead of that, I'm going to focus on keeping the promise I made to him.
Promise.
Captain Gerald said that if anything should happen to him, I'd have to support you in his place. He didn't sound serious at the time, but it was right before before we lost him. So I've decided. I'd like to do just what he said. I know I'm not as strong as I need to be, but I swear to you, I'll train until I am. What do you say? Can I call you my employer?
But I know I can count on you.
Yes, it's official. I'll protect you no matter what.
Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead.
I think you should get some rest.
I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. I believe I've mentioned that House Ordelia was, at one time, being controlled by people from the Empire. During that time, strange people, mages perhaps, came and performed rituals on all the youth within my family. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less.
That's awful.
Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass.
But it's too soon to give up.
It's not like what's been done to me can be undone.
Well, we can try to find a way to undo it.
Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests.
We will find a way. You, me, Hanneman, everybody else will help you.
You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
Well met, Professor. I trust that you have not had any complaints about me lately.
I haven't, but should I be worried that you just mentioned it?
Do you find it concerning that I've ceased making advances toward the ladies? I've decided that it would be inappropriate for me to continue my search for a spouse while we are at war. I expect that means you will not be receiving any more complaints. I hope that puts you more at ease. Actually, the introspection I've gained setting aside my search has motivated me to amend my conduct.
You're embarrassed about your past behaviors, I take it?
Not the phrasing I choose, but you're not wrong. Selfishly pursuing my own desires caused me to behave inconsiderately. For instance, it was arrogant and rude to invite ladies to dine with me purely to evaluate them. Our experiences in battle have also given me cause to doubt certain preconceptions I once held. Previously, I had considered it a requirement for my future spouse to come from a noble line. I once thought that commoners lacked the power to influence the wider world, as history might suggest. To find a commoner who made a real impact, one has to look all the way back to Nemesis. That was my belief, at any rate. But I realized that I've actually had an influential commoner right in front of me all along.
Who?
Don't you see? I'm referring to you. You may wield the power of a crest, but you are so much more than just that. You have managed to charm everyone around you, to compel them to trust and follow you. Though you may not realize it, that is no mean feat. It is altering the course of history in Fodlan. Your example puts my prior beliefs to shame.
And your beliefs weren't completely wrong.
I appreciate the kind words. I have always sought to embody the ideal of nobility. That, at least, is a goal I continue to stand by. But now I know that bloodline alone is not sufficient to gauge a person's worth. I've learned much of this from you, You are humble and open-minded, despite your power and skill. That is why I at least find you so charismatic. Perhaps that is the wrong way to say it. What I mean is that you set an admirable example. I can only hope someday to be your equal. Of course, you had better keep an eye on me, because I can achieve anything I set out to do. For I am none other than the handsome and talented Lawrence Hellman Gloucester.
Hi, Cyril. Starting to clean, huh?
Hilda?
Personally, I'm all worn out from carrying water and fodder for the horses. I'm going to rest here a sec.
Whoa, tired? Water? Horses? Are you saying you did work all by yourself?
What else was I supposed to do? You weren't here to help.
Okay, I get it. You did the work because you couldn't find nobody else to do it for you.
I was waiting for you. Because look.
A letter?
I told you I'm always getting letters from my brother. I wrote about you in a couple of mine.
You're talking about me behind my back? Honestly, you're so...
We didn't say anything bad. In fact, well, listen up. Here's what my brother wrote. Be he Almiran or no, any young man with compassion and good conduct is worthy of respect. Character is what really matters, not the place of one's birth.
Huh, that's pretty nice. Especially since it was from a noble who battles Almirans.
Right? He's a funny one, but for the first time, I really respect him. So thoughtful and tolerant.
That letter makes me happy. A lot of people look down on me just because I'm Almiran. So, you know, it's nice to hear somebody accept me as just another person.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I've accepted you from the start. I mean, you're so helpful. You do everything I ask.
That's not acceptance. That's relying on somebody else to do your work. What you ought to do is be a grown-up who your brother doesn't need to worry about so much.
I'm plenty grown up. I just brought food and water for the horses, all on my own.
Being proud of doing what you're supposed to be doing just means you're lazy the rest of the time. Though, I gotta admit, being relied on is kinda nice.
In that case, from now on, I'll rely on you even more. Let's see. First, I need you to...
Well, time to get back to work.
Hey, hold up!
Are you praying, Ignatz? Are you concerned about something?
A little. I'm coming to accept that I will never be an artist. I'm self-taught, so my style and technique are probably all wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. Besides, how could I persuade my father? I can't even imagine his reaction. He'd disown me.
It takes courage to stray from the path that has been set out for you. It's never easy. I'm in a similar position. I've been carrying out my adoptive father's wishes up until this point. But... It's never a bad thing to have dreams. That's how I feel, at least. I can't imagine a life in which I'd given up on my dreams. How could anyone find happiness in that? Even with your father's demands, you can still work toward one small dream at a time.
You know, I suppose you're right. My dream of being an artist gives me the energy to go on. You're really wise, Mercedes.
Oh, goodness. That's not how most people would describe me. I just don't want you to give up on your art. Besides, I genuinely do want to see your painting of the goddess.
Really? I'm pleased to hear you say so. You said you're in the same position as I am. What did you mean by that?
My future has been decided for me as well. I'm to be married off to a nobleman.
What?
Is it really that surprising? I think many young women face the same fate.
So, will you get married?
I suppose I haven't given it much thought. Whatever may happen,
I'm sure everything will work out in the end if I don't give up on my dreams.
Everything will work out in the end. Mercedes, you're amazing. I think that whatever you do, wherever you go, you'll help a lot of people. You're so kind. I know you can... Oh,
What's wrong, Ignatz? You have a strange look on your face.
for my whole life I've wanted to paint the goddess, but I never could. Whatever shape I gave her, she never seemed quite right. But it's just come to me.
It's wonderful how inspiration can strike so suddenly. Quick, paint before you lose it.
I will. Will you help me?
I'd be happy to help, but I'm not sure what I can do.
Don't you see? The goddess I imagined and tried to paint so many times. She's you. I have to get my supplies. Stay right there.
Wow. To say such a thing directly before the altar, that must be some kind of sin. I'll say an extra prayer for him.
The earth nurtures the trees, and the trees bear fruit. It's the earth itself that gives us all life. O Fodlan, land of plenty, bless us with the gift of delicious food.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's just you, Lawrence.
I was disturbed by your ridiculous blather. Must you recite it quite so loudly? And can you even call that nonsense poetry when it is utterly ignorant of rhyme and meter?
Ouch! You don't hold back, do you? I didn't know you were so particular about poetry. Ha! Maybe you have a secret poetry collection of your own hidden somewhere.
That's absurd. Where did you hear that? And just what was that poem about? It seemed to me that you were praising the land. But is it not the goddess who nurtures the land? Should your praise not go to her instead?
Of course you zero in on that detail. You really are a Fodlan noble through and through.
Certainly. Aren't you?
I'm not quite the same, no. Though noble blood flows within me, it can't change who I am at heart.
Pardon? I think you had best clarify.
Listen, Lawrence, you had ambitions of becoming the Alliance's ruler, didn't you? Would you like to try that for real? If you really want it, I wouldn't mind giving up my position.
What's this all of a sudden? That is not an offer to be made in jest.
I'm not joking around. I've been thinking it for a while now. I originally thought you were like a fox drawn in by the deer of the Alliance. But I was wrong. You're no thoughtless predator. You're trying to properly train the deer around you. Isn't that right?
That is my intention. But the ambition is insufficient. To rule well, a certain temperament is required. When we first met, I mistrusted you a great deal, and on my father's advice, I observed you closely. That is why I can say this for certain. You possess the qualities necessary to govern.
A compliment? From you? That's about as rare as a deer standing on its hind legs and doing a jig.
Merely a statement of fact, one that is quite relevant to the future of the Alliance.
The future of the Alliance, huh? You really are devoted to your cause.
Depending on your actions, I may yet see fit to seize your position for myself. Bear that in mind.
I welcome the idea. It means I can feel safe vanishing whenever I see fit.
Vanishing? Do not tell me you intend to die in this conflict. You cannot shape the future if you do not live to see it.
Ha! First you compliment me, and now you're worrying about me? What have you done with the real Lawrence? No, I'm not going to die. I'm tougher than I look. Besides, this war isn't just for the Alliance anymore. It's going to decide the fate of all Fodlan. It would be cruel to leave you with the burden of uniting all of Fodlan by yourself, don't you think?
Burden? Please. If there were none other suitable, I would gladly become a king. Or even an emperor.
Well, well. I guess I shouldn't take Lawrence of the famous House Gloucester so lightly. Really, though. Don't you go dying on me either, Lawrence. We're going to need men like you in the age to come.
The same to you, Claude. A world without you would be ever so dull.
Whew, time for a breather. Hey, Professor.
You've been busy lately, Cyril.
Yep, Noticed you have been too. Seems like it's been a real rough day for just about everybody, huh? I've been so busy I still haven't eaten. I hope there's still food left.
Here, I have some meat.
How come you're carrying that around? Whatever, I'm hungry. When you're hungry enough, just about anything tastes good. What a day. I need a nap, but I still gotta get the dining hall cleaned up.
You shouldn't push yourself so hard.
Professor, that's funny. You push yourself harder than anybody else. You make me look lazy. Besides, I don't even break a sweat doing this stuff. I'm always real glad to be busy. All my work's like a gift I'm giving Lady Rhea. I've got to make myself useful. Gotta repay my debt to her, you see? Heck, I'd do more than I do now if there were hours in the day. But I can't go without sleep. Tried once. You must think I'm pretty weird, huh, Professor? I'm always on about Lady Rhea, and I'm not even from Fodlan. I bet most people around here think I'm kinda weird. But I'm real grateful for everything Lady Rhea's done for me.
I don't think it's wrong to live for another.
That's nice of you to say. Real nice. Thanks, Professor. It's good to know you like me. Helps me feel even more at home. I've heard people say that good folks have a heart of gold. Not real gold, I mean. Just they always care about everybody else. Even guys like me. Lady Rhea's incredible. But I figured you're just the same, Professor. Okay. I guess I gotta give in and get some sleep. I'll get up extra early to make up for it. Good night, Professor.
Good night, Sarah.
Oh, hey there. What are you doing up at this hour?
I couldn't sleep.
Is that right? I guess the more you have to think about, the harder it is to fall asleep. At times like this, I like to gaze up at the stars to clear my head. I've been that way since I was a kid. Looking up at the big starry sky makes my dreams feel small, which makes it feel like I can actually make them come true. I didn't believe in gods when I was a kid. Maybe that's because the night sky took their place for me. Hey, Teach, will you talk with me a while? I bet you figured this out, but I wasn't born in Fodlan. Where I come from, the people of Fodlan are looked down on as cowards. Technically, that cowardice runs in my veins. On my mother's side, anyway. That's why the people who were around me when I was growing up thought of me as an outsider. But I don't believe the people of Fodlan are cowards. That kind of perspective is just based on ignorance. The person from Fodlan who I know best is my mother. She fell in love with a man from the wrong side of the border and had the guts to leave home to pursue that love. I always threw that in the faces of anyone who tried to make a fool of me. My mother is proof the people of Fodlan aren't all cowards. Just saying that doesn't achieve anything, though. I need to destroy the prejudices that have taken root in my homeland. That's why I came here, to see Fodlan with my own eyes. I thought I might be able to find a new perspective that could help me change things. And what did I find? That the people here view anyone who's an outsider as a beast of sorts. I was shocked. Even though our cultures and beliefs are completely different, our two lands have that much in common. That's when I realized the only way to change things is to bring the whole world together and start anew. That's the dream I've been working towards since I first entered the Officers Academy 5 years ago. To unify the Alliance, and then all of Fodlan, and to bring a new set of values to this new land of mine. After that, I'd expand that vision to the rest of the world, break down the walls, and let a new perspective come rushing in. Start all over. Do you think that's just a crazy pipe dream, or a brilliant ambition?
Can you rise to the challenge? To challenge that ambition of yours?
Not too long ago, I would have said it was too much for me to accomplish on my own. But that's not how I feel anymore. And that's because I have you on my side now. Lately, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I wouldn't have made it this far without you. You and me, Teach. We can go anywhere. do anything, I hope that you always walk in step with me. At least, until the day comes when we can look out at the peaceful world we've built, together.